Hey everyone, Dave here. Welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. This video is going to be the second part of the beginner's guide that I've released a while back. And why I'm creating that video specifically, one of the channel subscribers, Jekan, if I remember correctly, told me that in one of his comments that new players are still a bit confused about champs, skills, gear sets, what to do and which one to put on each champ and all of that stuff. The game now has so much content in it that I understand it can be a bit overwhelming for new players, and that's why I'm going to put some recommendations from previous videos I've said, I've released, and also add some new points here as a 102 beginner's guide into the game. All the links, this is going to be a bit of a longer beginner's video, so all the links will be in the description below. Yes, and I'll also put the time codes on the video so you can just jump back and forth or come back to it for the specific parts that you need. So there are a couple of questions that you can raise, and I want to answer them one by one. First one is that when I pull a champ, how would I know whether this champ is good or not? So there is a couple of things that you can do here. Let me show you an example there. So let's go to a champ that we know that's good, because these things are not fault proof. So for example, Apothecary is one of the best rares in game. You cannot access it from here, so you need to have the champ. Let me go, for example, to do I have even Apothecary here? Okay, here is my apple. So if you do this, you stop on the champ, and then in that section, if you see here, these are the reviews that players who got this champ actually gave him. Look at this rating. This is not, again, this is not fault tolerant. Nothing there is fault tolerant. So this can actually answer very, like the first two questions on a very generic base, but we need to dig deeper. So you see here, he got a lot of good ratings except for Spider. I'd say he'd work also well in Spider. But so this is your first clue that this is a good champ. Second thing is that what gear sets are recommended for him. Forget about HP gear. That's trash from very early game players probably, but he's good in speed. So you got like your first two clues whether it's a good champ or not. Now let's look into a champ that like this one. So this one, look at the number of reviews. Like the first one got like 16K reviews. This one got 116, and oh no, no. This one is bad. So yeah, that's where it's not accurate, but you can see from the number of reviews. If nobody bothered rating a rare that's been in the game for years, then probably it's a bad one. So that's your first clue there. Let me jump into hellhades.com, because what you can do, for example, is that, so let's choose any champ, Phoenix. Okay. Let's look up Phoenix in the game. You go to Hellhades website, which is one of the best resources we have overall for the game. What you'll get here, you'll get this champ rating in different areas. Overall rating is 4 stars out of 5, so Phoenix is a good champ. Here is like Arena Attack, he's a 5-star, Hydra, Doom Tower, so and so, value of books, and then you go through the skills. And then I think here, does it have a gear recommendations? Oh, yes. So here is also a generic gear recommendation. This is not 100%, but it's mostly accurate. So between the reviews in games, the reviews in game, just very generic rule. Don't look at them too deep there. But then if you look at champ here, you will get an overall view of how good they are. Okay? So that's the first thing. That will give you an idea of whether this champ is good or not. But do you actually need him? Do you have anyone else filling the same role? If you watched my earlier video about roles here, for example, if you have I always mistake Banner Lords and Sacred Orders. Okay, if you have Stag Knight, what does Stag Knight do, or what is he famous for? Decrease attack and decrease defense. So Stagnite will be highly rated for that specific role. But if you have already Duke the Pierced built, which fill in the same role, different, yeah, not exactly the same, but same role more or less. Or if you have someone like a Madame Series filling also exactly the same role, then you don't need to build a second champ. I'm talking a bit into early game. Uh, you don't need to build a second champ that fills the same role. So now you have a generic idea whether this champ is good or not. Now let's talk about roles. There are several videos that I'm going to link in the description. First one is early game tips that I've released. This will tell you generally what you're looking for, but it won't go specifically into champs. Second one will go more into the second questions that you can ask, which is how to gear your team early game. So we're talking about gear sets and what stats you're looking for. How do you want those champs to look like? The third video is, let me go through it quick. So this is about like which roles you want to fill early game. And for example, if you see here, like I'm saying that defense down, weaken, mainly the buffer there is important in the team. So when you get a champ, you figure out they have defense down. It's a war maiden. Okay, do I have anyone else filling this role? If not, then she's a good champ to invest into. Healer and reviver. I have Jamarsa early on and I built her. I've got another reviver. Do I need another reviver right now? Or should I just, even if they are better, put them on the side? Of course, if you get a better champ filling the same role and you're blocked in progress because you need more support, for example, after you build Jamarsa, you pull the Duchess. Then of course you're going to build the Duchess. But yeah, that's a generic rule of thumb of which roles you need to fill for your early team. So go watch that video too. I'll link it in the description. And then I'll take you into another level before talking about gear there. Let's go back to Hell Hades website. So you pull the champ and they are applying, let's choose one of the buffs, for example. Ally protection. I have a dedicated video about best ally protector for clan boss. Go look it up. So you'll see here, for example, the buff, it has a strong version and a weak version. So of course you want to invest into the higher one, the strong version, going forward into the game. And then you see which champs got this ability here. Let's say that the one you pulled is, I don't know, let's go with an average one. Nazana. So Nazana has ally protect. What else does she do? Let's go check her skill set there. Ally protect, okay. Attacks all enemies, not bad. 5 turn cooldown and can put decrease attack. So she's not bad. Let's see where she fits into the game. So let's go back to YouTube here, and what I'll look for is just type Raid Shadow Legends and the champ name. And let's see what will come up there. So we have a video from Matt Capper about build them so you don't have to. That's nobody knows about it. 6 champs. I waited too long to 6-star. I don't. Oh yeah, she's here in that video. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's a few videos about Nadana. But let's check another champ because my point is, which I didn't make exactly because there is actually videos on her, is that bad champs, or let's use champs, you'll find few videos on them. Which brings me to that other part here. So, okay. If you go, we have 2 big content creators in Raid, Hell Hades and Ash. If you go to Hell Hades website, just look for best epics. Let's assume that you just pulled an epic there. The best 10 epics in Raid. And that was released 6 months ago, 5 months ago. All epics reviewed. Oh, it's actually between Hell Hades and Ash. One of the biggest there. So go check this one. Okay. If you, and they did it in 2 parts probably on both of their channels. If the champ that you just pulled is not mentioned on this list, then there is a good chance they are not that good. Top epics, another one. So look up your champ in similar video. Let's actually look up something who's bad to make my example clearer here. Think, what's his name? Warden. Warden is really trash. So let's go back to Hades website, and instead of Nazana, I will look up Warden and let's see what will come up there. So in the search bar, I'll look up Warden. And then we'll look him up on YouTube too, just to show you there. Probably Nadana wasn't so accurate, like a good example because she do have some use. So you see that his overall starting is 2 star, which is really bad. And then you see the different areas there. If I go here and I look up Warden, you'll see top 10 worst epics in raid. Um, don't invest in trash. So that's talking about a different champ even. So you have 2 videos saying he's bad and then no other videos there. So YouTube started giving us any random advice there. So that's your first clue. The champ is good or bad. You look him up. For the skills, it's all relative. They apply defense down. If you have already 3 champs built that apply defense down, you don't need them. They apply block debuffs. You already have a couple of solid block debuffs champ like Sepulchre Sentinel or someone else. So uh, you have Sepulchre Sentinel built, and she does apply increased defense and block debuffs. You don't need another champ filling the same role till you're far into uh, mid game. She applies decreased attack on A1. So do you need another champ filling the same role for clan boss? No, you better invest somewhere else. So that will give you on very high level, is a champ good? What are they doing? Buffs, debuffs, do damage or whatever. And third one is, do I need them for the team or not? Now let's talk about gear sets. Oh, yeah, okay, let's go here. So now let's talk about gear sets in game. Some of those gear sets will be in game, and some of them would be early game. Let me actually filter the equipped ones as well because some of those gear sets I don't keep much on. So I'll go through the gear sets just quickly, the earlier ones one by one, and I'll tell you what you can invest in. Life gear. This is the first one you'll get in game. Look at how many pieces I have. And probably all of these, like these are on some vault champs that I forgot to clean. So life gear is not good in game. What are the exceptions there? Let's look at this piece. This piece, actually, it's not a good one. I'm not sure why I'm keeping it. But this one, it's like HP with double accuracy. If you don't have a lot of like better pieces, it might be part of a broken set. But life gear increases the HP. It's good very early on. It will drop very fast. You won't be using it very fast. Offense, bad from the start. Yep, some pieces there like HP with accuracy, whatever. That's probably in my vaulted Draco. So it's not a good piece. That's why you see in all of my account in 3 years, I'm keeping 3 pieces that probably should be even deleted there. Defense. Defense is okay because it's even better for defensive champs. Again, look at the number of pieces I'm keeping from it. It's okay, it's not the best. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Speed. Speed, look at how many speed pieces I'm keeping. Almost I have a lot of champs in speed. What does that tell you? Speed is one of the best pieces gear sets in the game for 2 reasons. It gives your champ speed. Going first, being speed tuned for clan boss of different content is really important. Second thing is that it's a 2-piece set, meaning that you can, if you put 6 pieces on the champ, you're boosting the speed stats. Or if you only have like what I have here, 4 pieces of something else, then you can add 2 pieces of speed and it will boost the speed of your champ. Same for crit rate. Crit rate increases the crit rate, also 2 pieces, so that's an okay one, a good one. Crit damage is also an okay one. Crit rate and crit damage are much better for damage dealers. Speed is good for everyone if it got the right substats. Accuracy is good for your debuffers. People putting like here, this is my Lydia. So you see, those has accuracy and speed substats, and my perception is the same. Accuracy when you move into mid game and end game is falling a bit because we have one of the newer sets, which is perception, which will give you the accuracy and speed. So it's like sort of a better uh, uh, accuracy set. You see here, like on my lady, I have 4 pieces of perception and 2 pieces of accuracy. Accuracy can still be used. What substats you're looking for the buffer? The buffer as substats of your accuracy sets is accuracy and speed. Okay, let's move on. Resistance is a little bit important towards in game. If you're early game, it won't be that useful to you. Life steal, one of the best sets going into early game. If you check my how to gear your team video, you should put everyone in life steal if you have the right stats for it. That will increase the survivability. Usually, when you are early in the game, um, you don't have a solid reviver or healer. Even if you have one like Apothecary or Jamarsa, they are not strong enough to keep the whole team healthy. So Lifesteal is one of the best sets early game. Fury is not good. Days is not good. Well, it's okay. What I'm saying is not good. It won't be needed. Might have very niche need later in the game. So if you see it in a specific video of someone who's gearing their Turvold in Fury or Avenging set or Frenzy set or whatever, and they say it's good. I'm going to gear my champs. No, these are very niche. All of that part is very niche. Regeneration is great. The only problem early game is that you farm regeneration from Fire Knight, which is the hardest probably of all the dungeons between it and Spider, depending on which champs you have. So it's a great set. Yes, definitely usable for everyone, especially for your support champs to keep them healthy and healing all the time. But the thing is that it's not easy to farm early on. What's easier to have and does a similar job early on is Immortal. Immortal, you'll get it from Clan Boss, and you're farming Clan Boss as early as you can, even if it's worse pieces. But Immortal also keeps your support healthy. So if you have regenerations, use it. If you don't, Immortal is the next best thing. Immunity is falling off a little bit. Got some uses, not early game. Shield is great for your support. If you put anyone in a shield set, usually your support champ, like my best shield set is on my Brogni. Let me find my Brogni. I'll show you what I mean there. Okay. So what are you looking for? If you put anyone in a shield set, you need them to be, whether it's shield set or not, but this should be HP percent. My gear is on a different level, so don't look at this. But why do you want them in an HP percent chest? Because oh yeah, because what we need here, we need them to support the whole team. So if they support the whole team, this shield is based on how much HP they have. So HP based champs with HP percent chests in shield set is the great combination there. Great for support champs. Relentless is most difficult sets to get because you're getting these only from winning tournaments in game. Easier in early game than later game, but it's great. Relentless will allow your champs to take extra turns, so it's great for damage dealers, it's great for the buffers, it's great for support champs like Cell of the Drakes. I think my Cell of the Drakes is still rocking a Relentless set. I've released a video about Vrask and how great he is uh, in a Relentless set. Probably he's in the vault, but yeah. So Relentless set is one of the best, but it's one of the hardest to get. But if you have, of course, Relentless pieces, just use them for your champs. Savage is also being farmed from Fire Knight, so it's a bit difficult to farm early on. But Savage is great for your damage dealers. It's not that great for anyone else. Destroy is very niche to Scarab and other stuff. Ignore it early on. Stun's Hat is one of the good ones, also from Fire Knight. Uh, what's good about Stun's Hat is that it's a 4 piece set, so now we're getting it's more difficult to get a whole set with proper substats, But why stun set is good? Because it can stun the opponents, and it doesn't require accuracy. It's just a straightforward chance to play stuns. Who would fit into a stun set? Anyone with an AoE abilities, because you're trying to stun the whole enemy team. What is this best used for? Stun sets, if I can find it again. It's best used for control champs like Torment. If you didn't watch my Torment video, go ahead and watch it. And like this one, this is Zhang. I'm using him for faction wars. It's very good in faction wars to control the waves. It's very good in dungeons or Doom Tower hard or easier normal, whatever you are hitting, just to control the waves. AoE hit, everybody stunned, or you get it on and off depending on the percentage, but it's one of the good sets for control champs or anyone with AoE ability. Toxic is okay but niche. Same with Provoke. Don't focus on these. Retaliation the same. Don't focus on these. Avenging. Stalwart is good for damage mitigation for clan boss. Um, the good thing is that Stalwart, you get it from Dragon. So you'll get Stalwart while you're farming your speed and accuracy gear and lifesteal gear early on. It's very good for support champs like um, Godseeker Ranieri. Very good for ally protect champs because it mitigates the damage from AoE attack. It's really a good set for almost everyone, especially for clan boss, for support champs. Uh, Again, it's a four-piece set. Why these are not popular? If we talk about stun, reflex, stalwart, if you see from the number here next to it, these are four-piece sets. That means that to make them work, you need to have four pieces of the same set on your champs. It's difficult to get four pieces with the right substats, and we want to avoid flat stats on the bottom ones, except speed for boots and all of that stuff. So, uh, that's why they are harder to get early on. But if you can get a good relentless stun stalwart set, that's amazing. Reflex, who needs reflex gear? Geomancer, Cold Heart, anyone who has a skill that will be on cooldown for 2-3 turns and you want them to get it back faster. But again, it's a chance. Curing is very niche, almost it's good for healers, but again, not used that much. Immortal or Regen is much better. Cruel, good for damage dealers. The divine ones are basically the same like those first ones. Like divine crit rate is exactly the same as crit rate, but it puts just a shield on your champ. Divine life and divine speed are the same. So you'll get these from arena chests. Usually it's very hard to get proper substats from the few pieces you get every week. Swift parry, not that good anymore. Deflection, very niche, four pieces. Resilience, now we're getting into deflection is the last one, or maybe even, yeah. So these two used to be only from Plat Arena. Now you can, what is the word? Forge them in the Forge. Yeah. And then these are the sets that you started to forge in the Forge. So you can make these depending on the substats, either from Doom Tower Hard or you just get the fragments from playing the game to build these sets. What are good? Resilience, good for two-piece, good for support champs because it adds HP and defense. Best substats for it is resistance. Perception, great for the buffers. Uh, so yeah, like you see here, my Mithrala. What do you want as substats in it? Speed and accuracy. So perception is one of the best sets in the game. Affinity breaker, on and off. Untouchable, not that good. Fatal, not that. Again, don't take my words are absolute. I'm talking very generally early game. Um, Guardian is okay. Um, Lethal is like an upgraded version from Savage. So, but Lethal is farmed from Dark Fae, one of the harder bosses from Doom Tower. So probably you won't have it early on, but it's a great set. Protection and Stone Skin you get from Hydra clan boss. You won't be fighting Hydra early on. So yeah, Instinct, no. Bolster is great, but you get it from the pass, that seasonal pass that they do. And Defiant is okay, I guess. I started, yeah, Defiant is sort of like a boosted stalwart, so Bolster is good. So let's recap. Early game. And let me just repeat that this is very specific to early game. Which sets you want your champs to wear? Speed. Speed for everyone as long as it has good substats. Crit rate and crit damage for your damage dealers. Accuracy for your debuffers, which goes also into perception. Accuracy and perception for your debuffers. Uh, Lifesteal for everyone who's doing damage. Lifesteal, for example, is very bad for your healers or support or revivers because those people don't do any damage, they won't be healing themselves back from damage. Instead of lifesteal, what you want on your support, regeneration if you have good pieces, or immortal that you get from clan boss. I'll try to put just like sort of a chart on the screen while I'm talking about this, which very generic early game, which sets are good for which type of champs. So I'll put the chart probably on the screen. I'll just put it while I'm editing to give you a clue about this. I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is right now. I'll put a link to the description for like, for example, I'll put a link for a couple of the videos for Hell Hades and Ash talking about best epics in game, Hell Hades website and how to look for champs there, my previous videos talking about how you can deal with champs early game. I hope this one helped you a little bit. What I'm looking for this one, if you're confused about a specific champ or gear set, put it in the comments below. I'm happy to create a dedicated video answering some of your questions. Just put them in there. Early game questions. Don't bother. Like, don't be shy at saying that it's a dumb question. There is only a dumb answer, not a dumb question. If you don't know something, if you want some clarification about it, put it in the comments and I'll make a dedicated video answering some of your early game questions. I hope you like this one and I'm looking forward to answering your questions in the coming ones. Thank you. Goodbye.